I settled a lot of wars. I think I settled averaging about a war a month. But
Okay, everybody. So the first thing is that this is incorrect what President Trump is claiming, that he's averaged solving a war one per month in his 2025 presidency. Not correct. The second thing is actually President Trump has experienced the opposite of that. There's two wars that President Trump said that on day one that he would have it solved on day one. That is the Palestinians and Israel has not been solved, and Ukraine and Russia has not been solved. So that's a -2 right there. Going forward, if President Trump had actually been successful like that, what you would have is a consensus, which is a key term we use in the field of conflict, with all of the other countries of the world agreeing. And President Trump wouldn't have to make that claim about himself. The rest of the world would do that for him. The next thing is that the universities here in the United States would just basically be bombarding President Trump with invitations to come talk about his settlements and his diplomacy. But that has not been happening, because we have a lot of great programs here in the United States in conflict, terrorism, counterterrorism, counterproliferation, history, etc. You get the idea. Going forward, President Trump has actually acted in ways where other countries will not trust him. The first example of that is when President Trump had the president of Ukraine, President Zelensky, in his office and embarrassed him, downgraded him, just totally disrespectful. That's not how, in the field of conflict or trying to do good faith, that you would ever want to talk to a guest in your country. Because we all know that if our president went to another country, we would be very unhappy with him being treated that way, or her. The second example is that President Trump, when he took office, and instead of trying to reach out with all of the countries to build a really good working relationship, he actually threatened tariffs. There's two major areas that countries are very careful about, and that is security and the economics. And tariffs realistically affects both. But looking at it from economics, whenever you do that, you are attacking that very security of that country regarding the money that comes in, that they're able to accomplish their infrastructure, however they approach healthcare, education, and safety. But that threatens that. So as soon as President Trump threatened his tariffs, you had a lot of countries that started pulling back and saying, wait a minute, we've never had this experience with the United States, or it's been 50 years at least. So that's just a quick example of why what President Trump is communicating here to the United States and the world is completely incorrect and untrue.